Okay, today we're going to be doing pairs of angles. An angle is formed by two rays with the same endpoint. Just a quick reminder here about something. Remember, a line goes in two directions like that forever. A line segment has two endpoints. And a ray has one starting point and then goes on forever in one direction. So a triangle is formed by two rays with the same endpoint. Here's the endpoint for this ray, and it goes forever in that direction. And here's the endpoint for this ray, and it goes forever in this direction. The common endpoint is called the vertex. This is just vocabulary that you're going to have to know in order to be able to navigate these lessons well. So make sure that you learn them. The common endpoint is called the vertex. So where these two rays meet, that's the vertex. Okay, now a triangle has a vertex and it has two sides. CA, ray CA, is one side of this angle, and ray CB is the other side of this angle. Okay, there are different types of angles. You're probably familiar with some of these. So right angle has exactly 90 degrees. And the only way you know if it has 90 degrees is if I tell you, or the book tells you, or there's this mark here. You see the little box? That's the only way. You can't assume anything in geometry, okay? You can't assume that it's 90 degrees. You have to have some kind of indication that it is. So let me real quickly do this. Now you don't know if this is a right angle unless you're told, okay? With this there, you know it's a right angle. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is more than 90 degrees. And a straight angle is exactly 180 degrees. Move that over a little bit. Okay? So straight angle, obtuse angle, acute angle, and right angle. Okay, if the sum of the measures of two angles is 180 degrees, the angles are supplementary. That means two angles that add up to 180 degrees. So this one is 120, this one is 60, add them up and you get 180. That makes these two angles supplementary. But they do not have to be next to each other like this. They don't have to be adjacent. It can just be any two angles. So this angle could be 60 and this one over here could be 120. Add them together and you get 180. That makes them supplementary. So they do not have to be beside each other. Now, if the way you read this, the little m right there means the measure of angle BCD is 121 degrees. Find the measure of its supplement. Remember, supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So that means that 121 degrees plus another angle equals 180. So if you want to do it the algebra way, minus 121 minus 121, x equals 59. Okay? Find the angle measures. Now look, you know that this angle plus this angle equals 180 degrees. How do you know that? Because this angle is a straight angle. Remember, a straight angle forms a line? See, this is a line right here. So this is 180 degrees. So if I put that back there now, we have two angles that add up to 180 degrees. That makes them supplementary angles. So we can solve this by going the first angle plus the second angle equals 180 degrees. Then we do our algebra. 4x plus x gives us 5x plus 30 equals 180 degrees. Minus 30 minus 30. 5x equals 150 degrees. Divide by 5. Let's extend this down a little bit. Divide by 5. X equals 30. So we know that x is 30, but you're not through yet because it says find the angle measures. So we come over here and we go 4 times x. We know x is 30, so we go 4 times 30, and we get 120 degrees. And we go x plus 30, that's 30 plus 30, and we get 60 degrees. And you check, 120 plus 60 adds up to 180. If the sum of the measures of two angles is 90 degrees, the angles are complementary. All right, when they were supplementary, they added up to 180 degrees. But now we're talking about complementary angles. Okay, and complementary angles are not ones that look at each other and say, hey, you look good today. That's a different complementary. This is complementary that adds up to 90 degrees. And once again, they do not have to be beside each other. In this one they are. In this one they are not. Okay, it's as long as they add up to 90 degrees. Okay, angles 1 and 2 are complementary. That means they add up to 90 degrees. Angle 1 measures 35 degrees. So this one is 35 degrees. How much is this one? Well, all you got to do is go 90 minus 35, and that gives you 55 degrees. Good? All right. If angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary, and the measure of angle 1 is 5 times the measure of angle 2, what is the measure of angle 2? Oh my goodness gracious, it sounds like a word problem. We've got angle 1 and we've got angle 2. Let's break it down. They're complementary. That means they add up to 90 degrees. So measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 90 degrees. So what is angle 1? It's 5 times angle 2. What's angle 2? We don't know. So if we don't know, we put x. So if angle 2 is x and angle 1 is 5 times angle 2, then it would be 5 times x. So angle 2 is x, angle 1 is 5 times x. And you add them up and you get 90 degrees. 5x plus x gives you 6x equals 90 degrees, and then we solve this, divide by 6, and we get x equals 15. So what is angle 2? Angle 2, remember, is x, so angle 2 is 15 degrees. Adjacent angles, another vocabulary thing that we need to know here, have a common vertex and a common side, but no common interior points. Okay, let's see what this means now. Adjacent angles have a common vertex. All right, there's angle 1, there's angle 2, there's the vertex of angle 1, and angle 2 has the same vertex. So that's a common vertex. Okay, they have no common, and they have a common side. Okay, this one is part of angle 1, this one is part of angle 2, and the one here in the middle is part of angle 2 and part of angle 1. So it has a common side. Okay? So this makes angle 1 adjacent to angle 2. That just means they're next to each other. So what you need to remember always is that this common side is going to be in the middle. Vertical angles, another vocabulary term, you got to learn the vocabulary, are formed by two intersecting lines and are opposite each other. So here are the two intersecting lines. Angle 1 is vertical to angle 2. Angle 3 is vertical to angle 4. Vertical angles are also congruent. That's another word you need to know, which means that they have the same measure. So angle 3 is vertical to angle 4, and that means that they are congruent to each other. So if this one is 100, different color. If this one is 120 degrees, that means this one is 120 degrees. Okay? All right, name a pair of adjacent angles. Remember, adjacent means next to each other. I'm going to let you do this one. All right, pause the video, find a pair of adjacent angles, and then find a pair of vertical angles and write those down, and then get back with me. Okay, so there are a number of things you could have chosen. Let's look at this one. Angle BCA. Angle BCA. What is next to angle BCA? Well, angle BCE is adjacent to it. Also, over here, angle ACD is adjacent to it also. Okay, so there's two pairs right there. Now, this could go on for several examples, because let's say, for example, instead of choosing BCA, we had chosen BCE. Well, we already know that BCE and BCA are adjacent, but look at this. BCE is also adjacent to ECD. Do you understand? So this angle is adjacent to this one. This angle is adjacent to this one. This angle is adjacent to this one. This one is adjacent to this one. So there are 4 pairs that you could work with. Okay, name a pair of vertical angles. Remember, vertical angles are opposite each other. Let me erase this. Vertical angles are opposite each other, so we've got angle BCA, again, angle BCA, and opposite it is angle DCE. All right, one more pair. This one, angle BCE, angle BCE, and angle ACD. So you could have chosen either one of those pairs right there as a vertical angles. All right, find the missing angle measures. Now this is where you use your vocabulary. It's very important to be able to use your vocabulary on this, okay? This angle is vertical to this angle. They're congruent, which means they're 52 degrees. Okay? This angle is congruent to this angle, which means it's 40 degrees. Now, how do you find the other 2 angles right here? Now, they're vertical, so they're going to be equal to each other. Now, let's look at this. This angle is what kind of angle? See that straight line there? A straight line forms a 180 degree angle. And this whole angle is made up of 1, 2, 3 angles. So if we add this one and this one and this one, we'll get 180 degrees. So we go minus 52 and minus 40, and that gives us 88 degrees. So this angle is 88 degrees, which means this angle is 88 degrees. All right, this one I'm going to let you do. The measure of angle 5 is 58 degrees. So we write 58 degrees here. Find the measure of angle 1 and angle 2. Okay, now use the information that you know. Where's the vertical angle to 58? To angle 5? Right, angle 3. So you use that information to be able to figure out what everything else is, okay? You also know that if this one is 90 degrees, okay, that's a straight angle right there, okay, because it forms a line. So a straight angle is equal to 180 degrees. If this angle is 90, which is indicated by that little box there, then that means that this angle is 90 degrees also. So how are you going to find out angle 1 if this angle, the big angle, which is made up of these 2, is 90 degrees? How do I find out what this one is? Right, I go 90 minus 58, and we get 32 degrees. Okay? So that means that this angle is 32 degrees. Well, look here. Angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles. So that means that they're congruent, and angle 2 is 32 degrees. So you found angle 1 and angle 2.